Welcome to another episode of Timeless Capsule Channel, where we delve into the mysteries of history and the possibilities of the future. Today we turn our attention to the ongoing conflict between Russia and Ukraine, a political chess game fraught with tension and high stakes. This conflict is not just a regional dispute. It's a complex web of political dynamics, economic interests, and military strategies that reach far beyond the borders of these two nations. As we journey through this intricate landscape, we'll explore how this localized strife could potentially escalate into a broader global confrontation, drawing in other world powers. From strategic alliances to economic dependencies, the potential triggers for a wider conflict are numerous and deeply intertwined. Each move, each decision, carries with it the weight of potential escalation. As we can see, the seeds of a global conflict, potentially a World War III, are being sown right before our eyes. So who are the key players that could transform this regional conflict into a global war? Let's dive into the heavyweights of geopolitics. The United States, China, and NATO. These power players hold the potential to escalate this regional skirmish into a full-blown global conflict. Firstly, the United States, a nation renowned for its military prowess and strategic interests around the globe. The US's role in this scenario is multifaceted. As one of Ukraine's strongest allies, it could provide substantial military support. Additionally, the US is a key member of NATO, an alliance that, if one member is attacked, all respond. This principle adds a layer of complexity and potential for escalation. Moving east, we encounter the sleeping dragon, China. China's role is somewhat enigmatic. As a close ally of Russia, but also a major trading partner with the rest of the world, China finds itself in a delicate balancing act. Any move it makes could tip the scales of the conflict. Then we have NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Comprising 29 nations, NATO is a formidable force. Its commitment to collective defense means an attack on one member is an attack on all. While Ukraine isn't a NATO member, many member countries have close ties with Ukraine. The involvement of NATO could not only escalate the conflict but also widen its scope. Each of these powers has a vested interest in the region and the potential fallout from this conflict. The United States, with its commitment to democracy and international order, China, with its global trade interests and strategic alliances, and NATO, with its principle of collective defense, all have a stake in the outcome. What's clear is that the actions of these major powers could have a domino effect, leading to a chain reaction of involvement from other nations around the globe. The stakes are high, the players are powerful, and the world watches with bated breath. The involvement of these major powers could indeed transform a regional conflict into a global war. But how exactly does a regional conflict escalate into a global war? This question brings us to the concept of the domino effect, a term commonly used in geopolitics to explain how a disturbance in one nation can trigger a chain of events leading to widespread chaos. Take a moment to rewind the clock back to the early 20th century. The world was a tangled web of alliances, treaties, and rivalries. This intricate network set the stage for World War I. An assassination in Sarajevo, a regional conflict, caused a ripple effect that resulted in a full-blown global warfare. Countries were drawn into the conflict not necessarily because of direct threats, but because of obligations to their allies. Fast forward to World War II and we see a similar pattern. The invasion of Poland by Nazi Germany wasn't just a regional conflict, it was a spark that set off a powder keg of international tensions, drawing nations from across the globe into the fray. Now let's apply this understanding to our current scenario. The domino effect is not just historical theory, it's a tangible risk in our interconnected world. A conflict between two countries can quickly draw in their respective allies, creating a chain reaction. This is especially true if the nations involved are major global players with a web of alliances and interests extending far beyond their borders. Moreover, the escalation isn't always military. Economic sanctions, cyber warfare, propaganda campaigns, these are all tools that can be used to stoke the flames of conflict. And in our digital age, these strategies can have global repercussions faster than ever before. So, a regional conflict doesn't stay regional for long. It's like throwing a stone into a pond. The initial splash may be localized, but the ripples spread out, reaching far and wide. And when those ripples intersect with other ripples from other stones, well, that's when you get a storm. And this is the crux of the domino effect. It's not just about the initial conflict, it's about the ripples it creates. the alliances it activates, and the tensions it exacerbates. With these factors in play, a regional conflict can rapidly morph into a global conflagration. In the event of a World War III, what could be the potential aftermath? Picture this: a world grappling with a massive loss of life. The most immediate and devastating consequence would undoubtedly be the human toll. Millions, perhaps even billions, could lose their lives in the conflict, forever changing the fabric of societies around the globe. But the impact wouldn't stop there. An economic domino effect would likely ensue. Global trade could take a back seat as nations prioritize their defense and recovery. Stock markets might plummet, currencies could collapse, and the world could plunge into an economic depression unseen since the 1930s. The political landscape wouldn't be spared either. The war could catalyze major geopolitical shifts, potentially redrawing the world map and redefining international relations. New powers may rise from the ashes while established ones might fall. The consequences of a World War III would be staggering and far-reaching. We would be looking at a world forever altered, a testament to the devastating power of conflict. So, what can we take away from this exploration? As we've journeyed through this speculative scenario, we've examined the possible prelude to conflict, the key power players, the domino effect, and the potential aftermath of a World War III scenario. We've seen how tensions between Russia and Ukraine could potentially escalate, drawing in other global powers and setting off a chain reaction of geopolitical events. The importance of diplomacy and peaceful resolution cannot be overstated. It is through open dialogue, understanding, and compromise that we can hope to prevent such a catastrophic event. History has shown us the devastation that comes from world wars, and it is a path we must strive to avoid. While the possibility of World War III is a chilling thought, it is our collective responsibility to work towards peace and avoid such a catastrophic event. Until next time, this is the Timeless Capsule channel, signing off.